I was training for like my first pro show, and I got into a car accident, man. A drunk driver, dude, hit me like head-on collision back in 2018, October 10th, 2018.
Damn, head-on collision?
Head-on collision, man. So it was 8 o'clock on a Thursday night on the way to pick up one of my daughters at gymnastics practice on a Thursday night. Like,
were any other family members in your car with you?
So that's the crazy part. I'm getting goosebumps telling you guys this.
Welcome to the Untapped Potential Podcast. Today, we're tapping in with Velasco, a bodybuilder, business owner, and consultant.
In this episode, we talk about his life growing up in Wapato, Washington, his coaching and bodybuilding career, and how he stays motivated with everything on his plate.
We also talk about health, nutrition, and why kale is bad for you. What's up, everybody? Untapped Potential. Today, we're tapping in with Flex. What's going on, Flex?
What's up, y'all? Hey, I'm doing amazing, guys. Thanks for having me on today.
Yeah, thanks for coming through. Thanks for coming through. Man, you've been doing a lot. You know, before we started recording, you were telling us about the new company that you're starting up. You got some big goals, big ambitions. But before we get there, let's start at the beginning. We like to give our viewers a little bit of background on our guests. So can you just tell us a little bit about where you come from and a little bit about your upbringing?
Woo. Okay, loaded question, y'all. But man, I'm gonna try to summarize as quick as I can. So.
Yeah. Take your time.
Originally, I'm an immigrant, right? So I was born in the Philippines, and my grandfather, he actually left the Philippines. He followed the Marcos regime once he got exiled, you know, after his dictatorship.
Yeah.
So they first moved to Hawaii, to Maui, and then they moved to Seattle, and then they made their way down to Yakima, Washington, to Wapato, to the farmland. So
wow.
Your boy is a farm boy, man. Hey, the 509, dude. I'm a farm boy at heart, and I still carry a lot of those values and that grit, that hustle with me till today.
Yeah. Mike, just a quick note there. My girlfriend's from Wapato, so that's crazy.
Way.
That's a tiny town, so that's a crazy coincidence.
Hey, the 509, the 877, what's up?
Yo, let's go.
Yeah, man. So we moved to Wapato. I came here when I was 7, and like I said, I grew up on the farm. Just hard work, man. We grew like garlic, eggplants, green beans, and dude, garlic. I'm gonna start there, man. Like you guys will kind of understand my hustle, because once you understand farming, dude, like man, everything else is kind of easy, right?
For sure.
So garlic, man, we used to plant acres and acres of garlic, and the thing is, you plant those guys in the fall, and you have to take every clove, and you have to literally plant every bulb. Like I'm talking about, man, you look at the acres of the fields you got to plant. You're like, man, how are we going to get this done? Right.
Wow.
But you just got to do it. But you got to plant them in the fall. And then you kind of have to weather the storm, man, like literally. And then you don't harvest them until like June or July. So if you understand that patience, man, that's what I understood from my grandparents. It's like, yeah, you got to plant the seed, but also you got to water it. You got to, you know, love it. And then you can harvest it at the end of the day. So I've taken a lot of the principles that I learned growing up from the farm, and literally, man, I've applied it to every aspect of my life, dude.
Wow.
So, growing up in Wapato, there's nothing really else to do except for play sports or get girls pregnant. I swear to goodness, man, if you weren't playing sports,
keeping it real,
you were getting girls pregnant, man. A lot of my best friends had kids like at 14, 15. This is real stuff. Crazy, right?
Yeah. For the viewers out there, so Wapato's in Central Washington. How big of a town is it?
Man, I wouldn't even say big. So it was like a 4,000 community population. I mean, it's a lot bigger now, but when I first moved there, man, it was a very small town. A lot of Hispanics, a lot of Native Americans, and more and more Filipinos as well. So a lot of like Filipinos start migrating towards Wapato, because it's kind of a easy transition from going from the Philippines and to like a community where there's already a lot of Filipinos established, and farming's already established, you know. So fast forward, man. So like I played sports. I played football, basketball, tennis, ran track too in middle school, and I've always been into sports, right? And I've always had kind of that love for training and trying to push myself to be the best as possible. And I was pretty competitive, man. Like competitive football, tennis, basketball. But also I was kind of a math whiz, man. So we were part of this high school like calculus advanced math class, right? And we were getting recruited from like NASA, Boeing, Nike. And my senior year, I got a few offers to work for Nike, Boeing, and NASA, the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, to send like these rovers up to like Mars and into the moon. So I chose to work for Boeing right after high school.
Right.
So I met 2 weeks after high school graduation, guys. I moved from Wapato to Seattle. Huge change, right?
You're like 18 years old?
Bro, 18, I was going to say 18 years old.
19, bro, just fresh out of high school, like off to the big city, living by myself. Like I was renting an apartment, and I was interning for the Boeing company full time in the summer. And actually I worked part time during the school year, and Boeing paid for my tuition. So I put myself through UW. UW, man. So cool. Yeah, graduated through the business school. But one thing I forgot to mention is when I was like 16, 17, I was exposed to network marketing. I don't know if you guys are in network marketing, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So I'll be straight up. It was Amway, man, like selling like toilet paper and like soap and stuff like that. But that was an experience still, right? Like I learned a lot about business. I met a lot of mentors, and it kind of opened my eyes to doing something else versus just a 9 to 5, right?
Right.
And it's like, man, if these guys are making all this money, I was like, I can do that someday and not just have to work for somebody, right? And both of my grandfathers, they were both entrepreneurs. Like they both ran farms, and I was like, man, I want to be my own man. You know what I'm saying? And support my family by providing for my family. So I was like, there has to be a better way than just working the 9 to 5. But one thing that my grandfather told me, like during the farm days, he's like, dude, if you want to get out of the farm and do something more of your life, you got to go to school, become an engineer, and work for Boeing. And that's kind of what I did, man. So I followed that path. But the whole time that I was working for Boeing, I just knew that there was more out there, you know, because man, at 16, 17, when you're around like mega millionaires flying private jets and driving luxury cars, you're like, and having mansions, you're like, man, I got to do something more, you know? So I'm not the one to kind of just settle and just like live in comfort. Like I constantly push myself out of the comfort zone. And, you know, with the mentors that I met, man, they're like, dude, you got to focus on self-development, right? You got to continuously elevate your skills, you know, elevate your awareness, and life will open up. You know what I'm saying? So, to this day, man, I still follow those principles. Like I continuously push myself, whether it's like, you know, from a skill perspective, a physical perspective, and everything I do, man, I'm just doing it to the fullest. And it's like, growing up in the Philippines, man, I used to bathe in the river, guys. Like before school, there was a river right there, like a couple blocks by our house, and we'd bathe in the river before school. We had to pump our own water just to have water. You know what I'm saying?
So how old were you when you moved from the Philippines to the U.S.?
I was 7, bro. 7.
Damn, so you were like an older.
Yeah, so
like
this was
still young, but older.
Yeah, so this was back in '89, man. Like we moved here in January, and it turned I think 7 or 8 that April. So it's wild, bro. It's wild. So I stay humble to this day, man, and I carry those principles and kind of the upbringing with me. But you know what? I never want any of my friends or family to ever go back to that kind of state, you know? But but you know what? I went back to the Philippines, I want to say 6, 7 years ago, and I appreciate the simple life, right? Because man, they don't have all the technology, all the media that we have here.
All the distractions,
but all the stress, you know what I'm saying? And they're just living the simple life. And it's like, I sometimes think like, man, what if I stayed there? You know, would have stayed with a simple life, planting rice, you know what I'm saying? Like butchering goats and pigs and drinking every night. You know? Because when I went back a few years ago, that was the lifestyle they're living, man. And they're all carefree, dude, all kind of stress free. But it's like, it is what it is now. And I'm just trying to do my best to kind of, you know, drive what I can and leave a legacy for my family, right? So fast forward, man. So like after going to UW, I founded this club called Millionaire Minds, right? Oh, cool. And what that allowed me to do was like have to rent out like the big lecture halls. Like I was having business meetings, man, in lecture halls that could host 500 to 700 people. Right. And I got into a different like network marketing company back then. And man, I was making crazy money, like $1,000 up to $10,000 every day doing this network marketing stuff. Cause we were just like recruiting people, and people were recruiting people. That was kind of the whole network marketing situation. And the company that I was working for went bankrupt, dude, because they were just paying crazy bonuses out. Right. Like the guy that was mentoring me, bro, he was making like $400K like every other month. Wow. So, but yeah, it was like they were selling like cell phones, pagers, internet back when that technology was still brand new. But the thing is, they focused just on recruiting people and making commissions that way. And it's like, again,
for them
man,
to sell the product.
Yeah. Okay. But it was more predicated on like the recruiting and then getting people to pay like a recruitment fee, you know?
Because they got to pay to join, right?
Yeah.
Essentially, right.
You got to pay to join, but then they went bankrupt because they were just paying way too much bonuses, dude, and not driving so much revenue to grow the company.
That reminds me of that LuLaRoe like documentary.
Same thing, bro.
Same thing. Yeah.
Kind of the same thing, you know, like instead of the exchange and services, like it just becomes people are making money off like the starting fee, the enrollment fee. Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
So ever since that tanked, I was like, man, no more network marketing for
I was
me.
gonna say, isn't there like a math equation that says that you just run out of people at a certain point, right?
Absolutely,
there's
bro.
not enough of a market, regardless of the product you're providing, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Marketing.
And the thing with network marketing, man, it's always like the top like 3 to 5% that make all the money, and everyone else just kind of goes bankrupt or
they spend a lot of money on inventory that they can't sell.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So I've seen that happen way too many times.
I mean, you got in at the right time though. You said $1,000 to $10,000 a month. Hey, that's not bad money.
It was crazy, man. So like, I had a bunch of like buddies and roommates that played sports, like football, track, baseball, soccer. And these guys all had a bunch of friends. So it was like friends recruiting people. It got out of control.
Right.
And man, I did so well, dude. Like the leaders of the company flew me to Dallas for like this training and recognized me and all this. I was like one of the top dudes in the company at 21 years old.
Oh my gosh.
Man.
And bro, at 21, moving from a small town, bro, I was just making it rain, bro. Like we'd go to clubs and I'd literally just buy the bar, dude, and just hooking up all my friends and stuff like that. Like this is back before I knew about saving money and investing, you know what I'm saying? So
did at any point, like having that success at a young age, did it ever feel like, I'm like set, or how did you keep that drive going?
Bro, that's exactly how it felt. I was like, man, by the time I'm 25, I'm going to be a freaking billionaire. That was my thought process back then. But then when that company tanked, man, I was like, I got to go back to the drawing board. And that's when I kind of really focused on the corporate route, right? I was telling Max earlier about my Boeing career. Right. So kind of fast forwarding now to getting into my corporate life, right? So yeah, man. So after graduating from UW, I joined Boeing. What was it, like end of 2005? Yeah. And I swear, man, I was getting promoted like every year. And then by the time I think the 4th or 5th year rolled around, I got into management. I got another promotion like a year and a half, another promotion a year and a half after that. So I quickly rose the ranks of management, but I again, man, I knew like there was something more for myself instead of just the grind, right? The 9 to 5 grind. And as I started having kids, bro, I got 3 kids now, right? I got a 12-year-old daughter, 9-year-old daughter, my son's 4. And as I started having kids, I was like, man, I need more time with my family. And I found myself like just traveling the world and like going on these business trips, and I was leaving my family behind. And it's like, I can't balance this, man. Like this is tough, right? And my wife needs help. So that was when like we had 2 kids, and I just quickly realized I got to make some changes. So I started looking at, what am I good at? What do I love to do? What are my passions? And kind of around the same time, like I got into bodybuilding. So 2011 is when I started competing in bodybuilding, right? And I'm a natural pro now, but
Congrats.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it, man. And I started competing when I didn't even know like natural versus non-natural. I just chose never to go that route, right? Even like as early as 7th grade, guys, I was already exposed to steroids. Like one of my buddies in 7th grade looked like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Dude.
No way.
A Mexican Arnold Schwarzenegger, bro. The dude was jacked. And I was like, these guys are crazy huge. But I didn't like want all the side effects these guys had,
Right.
Like the aggression and like the anger and just like mood swings and stuff like that. And I was like, I'm not going to go that route, And plus I was playing sports too. So,
and plus it's a really young age. Like I'm wondering too, like, what effects did they have like in their adulthood afterwards? Like,
where are they now?
Dude, that's a good question, man. I just know he didn't graduate from high school, man. So I'm not gonna say any names, but man, I'm not sure, dude. I'm not sure, man. But I chose not to go that route, stay the natural route, So I did like these. It's called NPC. That's one of the divisions where it's open, right? You can take steroids, not steroids, and
so just to kind of like go into a little bit deeper on that world, like, so there's NPC and then there's another like big one, right? Like which one's that?
So there's actually a lot of federations, bro. So there's a lot that are open and there's a lot that are natural. And just like boxing, there's all kinds of different federations. So same thing with bodybuilding, man. There's so many federations that you can turn pro at, and it just depends if you want to stay natural or open. But there's guys that are natural that do well in the open. But man, to be honest, like if you want to be competitive and win at the open level, you got to take some performance enhancing stuff,
Sure.
But that's the thing, man. Like I don't know if we'll have time to dig into that, but there's pros and cons to that as well. Just like anything, right? Like too much of a good thing could lead to something pretty bad,
right?
From a health perspective and like even a life expectancy perspective, right? You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, yeah. In terms of like the federations, NPC's the most popular one, I'm assuming.
Yeah, it's the biggest one worldwide, man. And most of the pros go on. once you compete in NPC, you got to kind of win at the local level. Then you go to the national level to turn pro. And once you turn pro, man, even that gets even more competitive, right? Just like any sport, only like the top 1 to 5% guys do really well, you know?
Right.
Wow.
But I think now with social media, man, like people don't really need to go pro now, right? They just got to know how to get a following and then how to monetize the following, right? So I turned pro, a natural pro bodybuilder back in 2017. And
so it took you 6 years to get to that point?
Yeah, 6 years. I didn't compete every year, man. Like I was doing really well at the NPC level, and I didn't know about like the national level, so I never went to the nationals. I should have just that same year in 2011. I should have just went to nationals like the year after, and I could have got my pro card as an IFBB pro, right? That's kind of the open federation,
Gotcha.
but it is what it is, and I think everything just happens for a reason. So I stayed the natural route, turned pro as a natural bodybuilder back in 2017.
Yeah,
and it's crazy because I was training for like my first pro show and I got into a car accident, man. A drunk driver, dude, hit me like head-on collision back in 2018, October 10th, 2018.
Damn, head-on collision?
Head-on collision, man. So it was 8 o'clock on a Thursday night on the way to pick up one of my daughters at gymnastics practice on a Thursday night. Like,
were any other family members in your car with you?
So that's the crazy part. I'm getting goosebumps telling you guys this. So we're playing pickleball in my backyard, right? And it was already dark. And my wife was like, hey, I'm going to go to pick up Imari, our oldest daughter, right? And I was like, hey guys, I'm done playing. I'll go pick up Imari. So it was going to be my wife, my younger daughter, my son that was going to go pick up my daughter from practice. So I think about that. I'm like, man, they all would have been in the accident instead of me.
Wow.
So what switched that decision? Why
did you end up something last minute, bro? Like, yo, stop playing, go pick up your daughter. You know what I'm saying? And we love like tennis and pickleball. We could have played till midnight if we wanted to, you know? And it was like 7:45 or something like that. I was like, I'll go. You know what I'm saying? So last minute decision, bro, could have impacted my whole life, man. And he used to mess with me thinking about that scenario over and over again. And I was like, I can't, I got to quit thinking about what could have happened and just think about what did happen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, man, I'm pretty spiritual and like, you know, God was looking out. You know what I'm saying? It's
absolutely.
like, because he knew I could take that toll, you know, take the toll of the accident. But the worst thing that happened to me was I tore my rotator cuff, tore my bicep tendon off the bone, and had a concussion, and kind of was just out of the game, you know. So it took a while to finally. I was doing like PT and stuff like that, but the right side wasn't healing, man. So I finally got an MRI, and it showed like the tears on my right side.
Dang, man.
And then I got surgery May of 2019, and then it took me like. I recovered pretty quick, man, because I was like on the plant-based diet, right? And my body was recovering really quick.
What level of clients do you work with the most?
So now, dude, it's all over the place, man. So I want to say 3 months ago, I started coaching a lot of like high-profile entrepreneurs, executives, you know, tech millionaires.
Right.
And dude, I was, these guys were paying a high premium, right? So a millionaire, man, like, if you try to sell them a $1,000 product, bro, they're not going to respect it. They're going to quit that program. But if you sell them a $25,000, $50,000 program, you get their attention. They'll follow it seriously. So I met an internet marketer, and he kind of helped me what a value ladder is, right? Taught me what a value ladder is. And depending on who your audience, man, like that value ladder has to be different to cater to that audience. So to answer your question, bro, I kind of coach people on different spectrums.
Gotcha. Yeah.
From the everyday gym goer to like high profile entrepreneurs.
That's so cool, man.
You know, and like even teenage like athletes, all the way to like my 72-year-old in-laws. You know.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, man.
Men and women too. Right?
Men and women, dude, all different fitness levels, different ages. And what I've learned as a coach is you got to be like a chameleon. You got to adapt your style to the individual. Like I've seen too many cookie cutter plans out there that just don't work for the majority because we're all different.
Right.
Yeah.
Like our bodies are so freaking complex. You know,
real quick, because
I'm
I'm curious, what does a $50,000 fitness program look like?
So, dude, that's access to right here, bro. Like, I mean, I got 20 years of experience. You know, like self-experimentation, hundreds of clients that I've been working with, and clients like, yo, man, just tell me what to do, when to do, and but the key thing is I teach somebody why, right?
Gotcha.
Why do you do what you do, or why do you do what I'm like kind of helping you to do?
Right.
Yeah. And once you give the education, that empowerment, dude, like they can adapt it as part of their lifestyle day in and day out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now I apply that same thing with all of my clients, dude. It's about education, which gives them the empowerment. And once you have that, then it's like you don't need a coach, right? It just becomes part of your lifestyle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I see too many coaches that just give you a plan and they're like, hey, Max, Chris, good luck. You know what I'm saying? That's not enough, man.
They'll meet with you like once a month or something.
Yeah, that's not enough, bro. So like we've my new company that you kind of asked about earlier, man.
Right.
It's a global nutrition company. It's called the Mana Movement, right?
Mana Movement.
And we switched it to the Mana Movement because
and we'll pop it up on the screen here.
That's good, man.
Let's bring that up.
Yeah.
So this new company, this is the website, right?
Yeah,
the Mana
bro.
Movement.
It says it right there. Like nutrition is the key to health, man. And then I said it earlier, like you get empowerment from education, right? So a lot of people don't know why they're eating the way they're eating or the way that they're training. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we do, man. We take the guesswork out of like the whole situation, dude. So I was tired of people kind of getting the same results over and over again, doing the same thing, or even trying different things. And with all the information that's available now, guys, like there's so much conflicting info.
Right.
You know, there's a lot of marketing BS that we got to just sift through. And that's what we kind of do, man. We go back to principles that have been tried and true and proven.
Right.
And look at that right there, right? It doesn't matter, dude, if you're a carnivore, a vegan, because I was vegan for almost 7 years off and on, right? Doesn't matter if you're keto, vegetarian, nutritarian, flexitarian. It's all about just variability and mixability, man, and having the tools, the strategies and techniques to understand how to cope with every day, every week, right? There's a thing called life. You know, there's a thing called like social events, right?
Right.
So it's like, if you have a plan that's way too restrictive, dude, how do you comply with that when you're out, you know, celebrating like a birthday or, you know, out with your friends or your wife on a date, you know what I'm saying? So, that's what we do, bro. We give people the tools, strategies, and techniques, and we teach why, you know, why a certain food does something to your body, to your brain, to your gut, to your heart, you know? And it's crazy because I used to be known as this like fitness dude, right? But my new thing now, man, is like I'm a research scientist, right?
Right.
And by no means am I an expert yet, dude, but I'm going to continuously push my research and kind of understanding the research that's been done. And there's new research coming out as well.
Right.
So it's not just like knowing the past, but it's knowing the future, man. Understanding all the new science that's coming out, you know, because if I don't do that, bro, I'm not going to be the best coach possible.
Right.
And my team isn't going to be like the best possible pushing the envelope, right?
What are some foods that people are eating right now that they think are healthy, but that you would say are probably not the best for them? Kind of some that come off the top of the.
So I guess I can explain that in multiple contexts, right? Like even from a fitness context, right? We think power bars, shakes, stuff like that as health foods, but
I eat them.
It's processed, it's man-made, right? So what I tell people now is, man, if something's been altered, man-made, there's a barcode on it, man, think twice about that product. I'm calling it a product, not food, because food it comes from nature, right? It comes from the ground, it comes from the trees. The moment man alters it, bro, it becomes a product.
Right.
And unfortunately, man, some of these like power bars or health foods, and like you said earlier, it might say organic, it might say paleo, vegan, whatever, fat-free, low-fat. It's so confusing, right? But it's like, man, let's turn it around. Let's look at the back of the label. Let's read the ingredients, you know? And some of the things that we think are health foods, bro, once you learn the ingredients, you're like, wow, they're putting substances that are toxic, that are addictive into our food products. And no wonder why everybody's getting sick, bro. Because like, now I'm about to spit some science on y'all right now. So we heard of like dopamine, right? You get a dopamine hit, dopamine rush, right? Dopamine. So we all love dopamine. So things that are giving us a dopamine hit: drugs, alcohol, social media, sex, methamphetamines, heroin. But guess what, guys? Sugar.
Yep.
Right? MSG, preservatives, salt, carbohydrates. So imagine, bro, like we don't stand a chance because food is so prevalent versus drugs. Some drugs are hard to get.
Right.
But food is right in front of us, man. And we're intaking food 3 times a day, like breakfast, lunch, dinner, and sometimes 8 times a day. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, mid-morning snack, afternoon snack, pre-workout, post-workout, bedtime snack. So imagine what we're doing to our bodies, bro, as we're putting these toxic, addictive substances in our bodies, and how much damage it's doing to our cells, our gut bacteria, our psychology.
Yeah, man. And you never hear the term like, you know, you hear drug addict, but you never hear like sugar addict, carb addict. Like, hey, man, I think you got a carb problem. Like, we got to go get that handled.
Bro,
you know,
seriously.
That's crazy.
So right here, guilty as charged, right? So bodybuilding, man, what happened was the restrictive diet and kind of eating too frequently.
Yeah.
That's what got me into kind of this bad
Cycle.
spiral, bad cycle. You know what I'm saying? Like I would restrict like certain foods and food groups for so long. When I finally got a hit of that, like ooh, dopamine. And bro, I would eat like a box of cereal at a time, a box of power bar at a time, power bars at a time, a whole bag of chips.
And this was like as you were bulking, like during your bodybuilding phase.
So it'd be like after a comp, but even some days where just on a regular day, bro, like when I see it and I eat it, I'm like, man, I need more of that, right?
Yeah.
Because the thing is with our dopamine reward center, right, that pathway, the more that we ingest certain like products from these substances from these products in our foods, you build up a tolerance, right? And once you build that tolerance, like, all right, that bag of chips didn't do nothing for me. I need more. And then you look for the next thing, right? And it's crazy because I used to track calories and macros on my fitness pal. Bro, one day I ate like 7,000 calories in like a 3-hour sitting.
That's like enough for 3 people.
Bro, what'd you eat? McDonald's or
what did I not eat, man? Like I raided the pantry, I raided the fridge, man. Like I was eating my kids' cookies, bro. Like it was.
Oh my gosh.
But the thing is, what I understood from research, man, is like we have satiety hormones, right? Hormones that signal to our gut, to our brain that we're full.
Right.
And certain foods don't give you that signal. So you never get full. You never get satiated, right? It's crazy. The science is crazy, bro. Like our prefrontal cortex can't distinguish whether we ingested sugar versus cocaine.
Wow.
Crazy, right? So I'm going to quote some studies with mice, dude. Like they put mice like on IVs, right? Onto cocaine IV and like sugar IV.
Right.
Guess what they kept going back to?
The sugar.
The sugar.
I've heard about that
and
one.
Bro, the poor mice, bro, poor bastards. They had these guys run through like this electrical shock field. Same thing, man. They put heroin here and coke. Another one of sugar. They kept running through the shock field to get to the sugar.
Wow.
So I'm telling you guys that's why we don't that's why we don't stand a chance as a society, man, to stick on a diet because there's so many bad things around us that we just don't know about.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
And you mentioned kale. We were having a conversation. I'd like for you to mention that because I thought that was really eye-opening.
That was mind-blowing to me too.
So that's the thing, right? Even some vegetables are toxic for us, right? So kale, it's heavy in thallium, right? Thallium is like a heavy metal. And if you have a lot of heavy metal, like toxic, essentially toxins in your body, man, like what it does, it kind of it inhibits certain vitamins and minerals from getting inside of your cell to make it healthy. So if you already have a vitamin deficiency, mineral deficiency, and you have a high like toxic heavy metal load, bro, you can't get a lot of nutrients you're getting from some food. So we think kale is healthy, but it's loaded with oxalates and thallium, a heavy metal, right?
Yeah.
Same thing with like watercress, even spinach too. So if you guys are gonna eat your kale lovers out there, don't hate me. Make sure you steam it or cook it to cook off some of the thallium.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I've seen a guy on TikTok that wears a shirt that says kale is bad for you or don't eat
hey,
kale.
Man.
Oh, wow.
Now
dude,
I see why.
Bro, I was telling Max earlier, man, there's a reason why horses and pigs spit out kale, dude, because the animals know better. They're like, man, why are these humans eating that? You know, I don't want to eat that.
Yeah.
You know?
That is so crazy. Well, I want to segue over to you starting your own gym, opening a franchise, Anytime Fitness here in Linwood. What was that process like? And I know you did it right before COVID.
Yeah.
So how did that impact your operation?
So, bro, like as soon as I turned pro, man, I was like, I think I want to open up a gym, right? And that's usually what like people in the fitness industry do. They're like, you know, I've turned pro, been competing, and I want to help more people. So that was kind of my wife and I's thought process. And we looked at several franchises to start, but it just made sense for us because working out and like helping people was one of our passions, right? So we didn't even get a chance, man, to be open for a year. So as soon as we opened up our doors, COVID hit, it shut our doors down, and we still had to pay rent, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
We still had to pay rent. So where a lot of people kind of gave up, man, I was like, I'm an innovator at heart. I'm a hustler at heart. So it's like, what can we do to get creative, to keep driving revenue, you know, to combat all the expenses that we're racking up. So that's where we kind of took our business online, and we started doing like home workouts, virtual workouts, you know, like I started looking at creating my own supplement company, which we can talk more about that later. And I really started honing in like on online coaching, like coaching people from virtual essentially, right?
Cool, man.
How did that take off with COVID?
Yeah.
The online coaching.
So
business?
online took off, man, because everybody is like, yo, I need to keep moving. I got to do something, right? But it's hard to do this stuff by yourself, man. Like it's hard to hold yourself accountable, and also it's hard to like piece together workouts. Like you're gonna get bored doing the same thing over and over again. So that's what we kind of leverage is our experience with doing all the workouts, stuff like that. And most of it was body weight, you know?
Right.
We had to get creative, man. Like use towels, water jugs, like stuff like that. You know what I'm
nobody
saying?
has like a room full of gym equipment laying around at home.
No,
most people don't.
Yeah, I mean, like gym equipment started selling out so quick because of COVID.
Yeah,
you know?
they were selling like 20-pound dumbbells for $100, something crazy like that.
Super crazy, man. Like, like whoever was selling equipment, dude, they were making a killing because they just hiked up the prices, you know?
Absolutely. So in terms of like keeping the doors open, you mentioned that you opened, you were working on opening a supplement company. You eventually did that. Tell me a little bit more about Mana Supplements.
Yeah, so we actually started off as Mana Made, right? The thing is, I had a brand before that called Just Flex, right? And I created like my own vegan protein. And the reason why I wanted to do that is because, man, I didn't like any of the vegan proteins that were on the market. You know, they're like chalky, didn't taste well, like the flavor wasn't on point. It wouldn't mix well. So I was like, man, I want to do my own thing. You know what I'm saying? So,
and this is entirely plant-based, right?
Yeah, entirely plant-based, man, organic and stuff like that. So I looked at all these different manufacturers and like started researching into like the quality of ingredients. Like, man, you wouldn't imagine like all the stuff that they sell at some stores. You don't know like who to trust, right? So as I got deeper into that, I was like, man, ingredient quality matters so much, right? And we talked about like toxicity and heavy metals, bro.
Yeah.
Some companies don't even test for heavy metals in the products they're putting.
Wow.
So again, we think it's a health food, but man, if it's loaded with toxins and chemicals and heavy metals, dude, we're just harming ourselves with that product.
Wow.
Right. But yeah, bro, back to kind of Anytime Fitness. Like we chose that franchise because the values of the company. It's a smaller, more intimate gym. You guys been there, like the vibes is different, you know?
Gym. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
And we pride ourselves at our gym. Like it's kind of like Cheers when you go there. You walk in, we know you by name, you know?
Yeah.
So it's just a comfortable space to come into.
To the laptop here and just to show what the gym looks like. This is the Anytime Fitness Linwood Instagram page. You can see Flex and his wife on the profile pic there. And then this is just a video of the inside of the gym. So
solid gym too.
Really
you guys are open
solid.
24 hours, right?
24/7, man. There's one of my
24/7.
brothers. He's a coach.
Is that the guy
family-owned
dancing?
business, man.
That's awesome.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah. So I decked out this gym. Like this is my home gym, like my second home. So it's like I want a gym where I can get a killer workout, and you know it's a community, right? So when you go in there, you walk in, you just feel the vibe right away, man. Like super safe, comfortable. And that's my family right there, man. So
awesome, beautiful family.
Yeah, thanks, bro. Like my girls, man, they do competitive gymnastics, like Junior Olympics. So they're studs, man. They get it from their mom. My wife's a stud.
Is she a gymnast too?
Nah, she played 3 sports, but she's just good at everything she does, man. Every sport she picks up, dude, she's great at it. Like she whoops my butt in golf. Like we used to go at it playing tennis back and forth, and
nice.
That's how I fell in love with her, man. Like the first like couple of weeks I met her, dude, we played all kind of sports. Like we were running, working out together. I was like, this girl's a beast, man.
Y'all were keeping score. Huh? Like, man, I gotta catch up.
Yeah, for sure, bro. Like we would play tennis for hours at a time, man, and just kind of chill after and talk. You know, it's super dope. So
yeah, that's awesome, man. You got a lot going on. I also want to kind of point at the other thing that's on this list too. Executive director here at Limelight, Seattle.
Oh man, I didn't even talk about that yet, guys. So shout out to my partner. Look up the Mike Barron one. So I met Mike Barron, man. I want to say when I first opened up my gym, right?
Yeah.
And I wanted to find someone that knew like marketing, digital marketing. And I'm not the one to send like flyers and like, you know, go door to door putting flyers and stuff like that. So when I met Mike, man, he was helping gym owners just scale their gym. And one thing that separates my gym from other gyms is we focus a lot on training, group training, personal training. So Mike kind of helped me get there, man. If you just scroll through his feed, bro, like shout out to Mike, man. He just bought his 3rd Lambo a couple days ago.
Holy cow, dude.
And the dude's he's a few years younger than I am. He looks Filipino, but he's Mexican Vietnamese. And my boy's like, he's probably like the Gary V's, Tony
man, we
Robbins.
gotta get Mike on the podcast.
We will, man. We will. Shoot, we'll do it together. So Mike, yeah, bro, like we connected back at 2019 and we stayed in touch. And what I did is I kind of took his business model and I have a franchise, man, Limelight Media Seattle.
That's awesome.
So the premise of this company, guys, is what Mike has mastered is the art of sales, man, how to sell like high ticket items, services, right? And that's why when I said, man, there's people that buy 25, 50, 150K courses.
Yep.
That's where I get my skills from, man. Because it takes a certain skill set, a certain process, bro, to have the confidence and conviction to sell a 150K product, right?
Sure. Yeah.
And that's what Mike has mastered, man. The whole process, the whole kind of the communication behind it, and how to close the deal, man. There's an art of closing, and Mike is the master at that. And as you can see, man, the dude is doing really well for himself, and he's one of my partners, man. That we're launching Limelight Media Seattle pretty soon. So
you can't level up on your own, right?
I feel like you can't, bro.
I hear a lot of people say like, "Oh, I'm self-made. I'm self-made. Did this by myself." It's kind of like
that's kind of a lie.
You didn't have to do that, you know. Like, you could have gotten the help of so many people.
Yeah.
If you made it this far by yourself, imagine where you'd be if you asked for help.
Yeah, absolutely, bro.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely, man. And that's why we do coaching, right?
Yeah.
That's why Mike coaches me. That's why we coach people on nutrition. It's like, man, you can spend 20 years like I did on experimentation, research, and all that, or hire a badass coach
who already did all that.
Who's already doing it and already did all that, you know? So same concept, bro. Applies to all kinds of different industries, right? Another company we created is Mana Movement Marketing, and we're helping like small businesses. Look up Lanakai Juice. Shout out to Lanakai Juice. We are doing their marketing. They have 5 locations in Oahu, and we're going to be helping them with their marketing pretty soon. And you know, this company, they're the original company that brought the acai bowl to Hawaii. So shout out to Lanakai Juice, man. We're about to do some amazing work with these guys. They're celebrating their 25th year anniversary coming up in May. Wow. And we're going to be helping them with their reestablishing the brand, telling the story, and kind of just upping their presence on social media, but also their presence at the island, right?
I see.
That's awesome.
Yeah, because the thing, man, I kind of went back to education earlier, right? So it's like, hey, why should we go to Lanakai Juice? Well, they use natural ingredients sourced locally. And now we're going to help them kind of talk about the ingredient quality of the stuff they're putting in their food. So if users and customers are kind of enlightened and empowered about how great a certain food item is, they're going to know when to go there for that certain item. And they're also going to know like which ingredients to be adding on based on their current health conditions or goals, right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So I feel like education is so powerful, man.
That's awesome,
so we're going to play the same model to not just the smoothie shops, but also cafes, restaurants, and all that. And it's like, we can help all kinds of different, you know, food places.
Right. Like you found a niche, really, is what I'm hearing. You found a niche where you can apply your understanding of like nutrition and wellness to, you know, the business side.
Yeah.
You know, so you're helping food businesses really, you know, really sell their story and make sure that the consumer is understanding what they're going to get.
Bro, that's
and
precise,
knowing that it's
man.
going to be the most healthy thing for them.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. It's crazy, guys. There's so much opportunity, but I feel like when you lead with that positive intent to help people, help businesses, man, the universe always rewards you back with like opportunities that you never thought existed. You know what I'm saying?
And when you have such a powerful why like that, you know, when you hit tough times, which you're bound to hit tough times in anything you do, you know, when you have that why, like you said, that's so positive and centered around helping people, those tough times are going to stop you because you have a powerful purpose.
Yeah,
and you're
exactly,
trying to reach that, you know, that goal.
Yeah.
Before we wrap up, I want to ask you, you're doing so much things, Flex. How do you manage? You know, how do you do that and also keep, you know, make time for your family and stuff too?
Well, the fact is, when I left the Boeing company, right, I kind of quote unquote retired June 2019. That freed up a lot of my time. Oh, and that freed up a lot of my intellectual capacity, right? But also I practice what I preach, man. Like the fact that my nutrition's on point, my workouts are on point, my lifestyle's on point. I just have so much mental capacity where I can get things accomplished in like a day. Some people take a month to accomplish, maybe years, right? And once you have that, man, it's like the world kind of slows down, but you stay sped up and you're able to process data, dude. And you kind of just stay in this state of serenity where you don't get stressed out or overwhelmed.
For sure, yeah.
It's like that movie Limitless with Brad Cooper. You guys seen that? Yeah. He takes that pill, bro. I found the pill, bro.
Oh, man.
Through something called food. You know what I'm saying? The right food is that pill, bro. So I believe like it's a real thing, man. And a lot of my clients, like, that's why a lot of executives work with me and a lot of entrepreneurs work with me. Right. Because I help them free up that mental capacity, dude, and be able to process info. And I'm articulating like medical research and science, you guys, right? Yeah. And it's like I'm reading these complicated journals in medical studies, but I'm spitting it back out where it makes sense in layman's terms.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? So that's how I stay balanced, bro. And also like shout out to my wife, dude. She's my mate, dude. She's my co-pilot. she's Kobe, I'm Shaq. You know what I'm saying? She's the finesse, I'm the ogre. But yeah, we make a powerful team, man. And without my wife, dude, being on the same page with me, a lot of things we see eye to eye on, right? Fitness, nutrition, business, and teamwork, man. Like she does a lot of the stuff to handle the kids. Like that is a full-time job in itself,
for
man.
Sure. Yeah.
With how busy the kids are and how demanding they are and all the attention they need. But if our energy is not on point, bro, we don't give our best energy to our kids and to my wife and I, each other. And we always kind of stay centered at the end of the day. Like we have our rough patches, but at the end of the day, it's like we just communicate and kind of just talk.
For sure.
And you got to understand love languages, man. Like her love language is different from mine.
Right.
So I got to cater myself to like her love language. And when we get off track, bro, we always go back to that. Like, what does she want versus what I want? And I got to meet her in the middle, you know, and
that's
compromise.
Powerful, man.
That's really powerful.
That's good. And I know a lot of listeners could connect to that too, because there's so many people out there that are, we're living in the age of side hustles. Everybody's working their day jobs, their side hustle. They got like a dog or they got kids and they got a girlfriend, you know, speaking for myself pretty much. Like, man, there's so many different things that take up our attention. And if you're not getting that full brain power, you know, like you're cutting yourself short because you're eating too much sugar, you're eating like crap, skipping workouts. It's going to affect every area of your life. So the stuff that you're doing, man, is so powerful. Helping people like me that need that, you know, Chris, the listeners out there. Man, you're doing a lot of great things. How could people get in touch with you to, you know, book you for your services?
Man, a couple things, bro. Check me out, justflex.florexis on Instagram. You can also go manamovement.life for our coaching, get a free consultation. And either myself or one of my coaches will talk to you guys. And it's really about the individual, bro. Like we all got different goals, right? So I used to be like, man, let's get you shredded and jacked. But not everybody wants that. Like now we focus on, hey, what are your goals? Especially like what are your health goals, you know, and what are the things that have been kind of inhibiting you to get there? And we work with the individual to get there, you know what I'm saying, and meet them on their terms. Also, manamade.life is where our supplements are right now. And there's going to be Mana Movement supplements coming as well. So, and the last one is limelightmediaseattle.com or .co. I can't even think about it right now, but that's on Instagram as well, Limelight Media Seattle. So it's crazy, guys. Like there's so much going on, but I got an amazing team, man, behind me, amazing wife, right next to me, and the world is our oyster. Like,
no, much agreed.
Well, thank you for joining us, Flex, and you got me motivated to go back on a diet for sure.
Thanks a lot, Flex, man.
Hey, man, thanks for having me, guys, man. Gems. Thanks for having me, guys. Anytime. Appreciate it, man.
Anytime. Well, wishing you the best in all your ventures, man. I'm sure we'll catch up in the future. For the guests that want to get in touch with Flex, we're going to have all of his information down in the description. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, follow us on TikTok, subscribe to our YouTube channel, leave a comment, leave a thumbs up, and catch y'all next time.